Welcome, Pewter Report readers, listeners, and viewers to the latest edition of the Pewter Report podcast. We hope that you had a great 4th of July weekend. We certainly did. And we were energized by Celsius all weekend long, right? And why wouldn't we be? Because Celsius powers active lives every day, including this Pewter Report podcast. And this is not just any Pewter Report podcast. This is a special edition because we're getting closer to training camp. We have a special guest, none other than rookie running back from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Rachaad White. And joined by us also is JC Allen from Pewter Report. Rachaad, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Excellent. I had a nice little weekend. I trust that you had the same. You're out there in Arizona, right? Packing up, getting ready to come back to Tampa.
Yeah. So, nice little weekend, family, friends, and get to see some of my boys and that I ain't seen in a minute, that I play with as well as that I didn't play with. That's just my boys. So, yeah, it was a blessing. It was a good weekend.
Rachaad, I don't know about you, but for me, like the fastest month that goes by is like from Thanksgiving to Christmas. For whatever reason, that 4 weeks seems like it's 2 weeks. The other fastest time is between now and the start of training camp. I think we've got about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, whatever. It's going to seem like a week or 10 days. So enjoy your time off because it will fly as training camp approaches.
I'll try. Normally, I don't even take time off really, but my agent be big on that and things like that. Me at least.
Yeah.
Try to take a week off and just do some little things. But normally, I just keep going. I just keep going and I just keep going, and that's the thing. And my agent be trying to keep me level headed, telling me don't run myself into the dirt.
Well, I tell you,
so.
if you want something to keep you going, we highly recommend Celsius. Celsius powers active lives every day with essential energy and vitamins. 7 vitamins in every can of Celsius, and it's a tremendous energy drink. Why? Because it gives you the energy that you need without the sugar crash. Who wants that, right? You want the energy, the sustainable energy, but you also want the flavor. Look at all those flavors. Orange, which is my favorite, peach vibe, tropical vibe. They've got the brand new Arctic vibe Celsius, peach vibe. So there's all sorts of flavors. If you want to get your life energized and have the energy that you need, whether it's to wake up in the morning or to sustain you throughout your afternoon at work, or have it before your workout like I do, and you will get the energy that you need without that sugar crash. Visit Celsius.com, click on the store locator, find the places that sell Celsius near you, or better yet, go on Amazon and buy them in bulk. Do the subscribe and save option. They'll ship them right to you, and you can save some money. So Celsius powers active lives every day, and the Pewter Report podcast. So I wanted to kind of pick your brain here on a topic when it comes to the Buccaneers, right? When did you have the sense, Rachaad, that this was a team that was really after you? Because I know you mentioned at the Combine that you'd interview with the Buccaneers there, but when did you start getting that inclination that you were going to be, a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that they were really in hot pursuit of you?
Honestly, for me, I never really kind of got the sense. But I was kind of a guy. I wasn't even looking for a sense. I'm kind of like a different individual. So I wasn't even looking for the sense. I was just doing everything that was necessary and everything that I had to do in order to complete the process, and that goes along with the process. So yeah, talking to them at the combine, or taking my top 30 visit here, it was like, okay, but you get so many different views of how it goes, like how you get drafted. Most people say you don't even go to a team you talk to, or and it's crazy. So I just never really. I just took everything as a blessing, and just grateful to get a free trip for a day to come to Tampa, or even to go to Cleveland, and the things, and just was grateful to get a free trip to go to Indianapolis, things like that. I was looking at things like that. So I really never got a sense. My agent was a big believer from the beginning that I was either going to end up in Tampa or end up in Arizona, and you know, he was kind of willing. Like he was like, I bet, you know, I've been around this for a minute, and I could bet you money, and like, you know, I could bet some money that you will end up or fall
Yeah.
into one of the spots, and you know, Tampa ended up being one of the spots, which was cool.
Well, we love the fact that you're in Tampa, not just because you're a great fit for this offense, but we also had you in our Pewter Report mock draft, our first edition back in January. We were on you guys earlier, maybe even before the Buccaneers were, and then the final one right before the draft itself. We predicted you would come to the Buccaneers, so I think you're in the right place, Rachaad.
Right.
Yeah, I do too.
So let me start off by saying I'm from Kansas City, and I grew up in Overland Park, Kansas. We have a couple of people that are regular contributors to our chat room that are also from the Kansas City area. It stuns me that you are a no-star athlete, a no-star running back in terms of the high school rankings, that with Missouri, Kansas, and Kansas State, which is my alma mater, I'm a K-State Wildcat, that none of those schools were on you early. It makes me sick to my stomach, because as a Wildcat, we could have used you for sure. But does that just baffle you that you didn't get any love from the Division I schools right there in your backyard?
I mean, if I would say that for me, yeah. I mean, obviously, growing up, things like that, you would kind of think that, you know, at least like schools around your hometown or very close to your hometown that's basically in the same, you know, area, things like that would, you know, come out and at least reach out and attempt to recruit you or things like that. But, you know, that didn't happen. So it was like, wow, yeah, it was kind of crazy. And the recruiting process for me hurt,
Yeah.
honestly. It hurt a lot. I mean, because like you said, just being Kansas City native, things like that. And, just having like some seasons that I had in high school, it was like, wow, you know, that nobody was kind of like knocking on the door. It was like,
Yeah.
yeah, real. It was real, like kind of hurtful, but you know, everything kind of happened for a reason, played out how it's supposed to.
I saw a feature on you on one of the YouTube channels. They did like a feature on you, and I guess the knock was your speed, because on film you have what I call sneaky speed, right? You don't look like you're running like blazing fast, but I call it fast enough speed, which means that I don't see you get caught from behind very often. When you're having a breakaway run at Arizona State, I didn't see you get caught from behind. It wasn't like you're pulling away from guys necessarily, but they're not catching you, and you're scoring touchdowns. So is that how you would kind of describe your speed a little bit? And I don't mean that any knock on you. You ran a 4.48, but I mean, if I'm being honest, at times it looked like you're faster than that on some of those breakaway touchdown runs.
Yeah, I mean, football speed, I mean, it's different than, yeah, I mean, even the 40 speed, because it's like, I don't know, like you actually out there playing football. So yeah,
Yeah.
of course, you know, you break a run though, you know, in the back of your mind as you run very hard, you still feel like somebody's behind you or something, and that's the, you know, kind of the nature of the game of football. So just naturally, if somebody chasing you, you naturally run faster,
Yeah.
or just naturally, if everybody lined up at the same time and ran the 40 in the group, guys that have 40 better 40 times, is because naturally as a competitor, you know, and you put it in your mind, you actually racing against, you know, other people or things
Yeah.
like that, you naturally run faster. So I say that's how it goes with like football. You just naturally, most people be naturally faster or things like that. So 40 time don't really kind of, I would say really reflect
Yeah. So you're
how fast a
faster.
guy can be.
You're faster than your 4.48 time.
I would say on the field, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always thought, and I've covered the NFL for almost 3 decades. I would love to see the combine where guys actually wear pads and helmets, and you know, and get chased, right? Like run that 40-yard
Right,
dash in a real football
right,
drill rather than the underwear
right,
Olympics.
right, right. Fact.
I get the sense you would agree with that, right? That's kind of, you're a football player. You're not a track star, and you're proud of that.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the 40-yard dash anyway, because
Right.
yeah, like I said, I feel like sometimes you just can't really get the gist
Yeah.
of how fast a guy really is. So yeah, it's like for me, it's like, and then it's like you have to like, because most dudes probably never like really either ran
Train.
track, or most dudes have. So it could be like, yeah, train track. So it's like 50-50. So it's like
Yeah.
for a guy like me, I never really ran track or took running like that seriously. I always just been running because of the sport I played,
Right.
football or basketball or whatever I played. So it was like, it's like 40-yard dash kind of to me. It's kind of like, whatever. Like people think, whatever it relates on the field. I mean, and I'm not an expert on that, but for me, I think no. I think most guys, like I said, if you have somebody chase them or things like
You're
that,
going to run
yeah,
faster.
you run fast. Yeah,
Tapes
you
don't
run
lie.
faster.
Yeah. So let's talk about your experience at the Buccaneers OTAs and then the mini camp. You weren't there for the first day. You had a personal obligation, but you show up and then Tom Brady's there, right, on day 2. What was that experience like? And maybe just your thoughts from draft day until you caught the first pass from Tom about what it's going to be like to play with the greatest of all time and catch passes and get handoffs from this guy.
My thought process honestly was kind of like I wouldn't even, like I said, I was just kind of focused since draft day and stuff like that. I was just kind of focused on getting better at my craft, and I would get a lot of questions like, have you talked to Tom? Have you timed this? Have time that? And I would say no, because I haven't. And kind of Tom was doing this thing, do whatever he do in his off season, things like that. And obviously, I was trying to get, I was just getting better at football, getting better at being a running back, and all the things that comes with it, so I could be ready to go up there and, just be ready to go out there on the field and play. And so, I mean, it was all though for sure excitement. Haven't played football. Like actually play football, and then during the whole like combine training things, you wasn't really training football.
Right.
So you was really training a 40-yard that, like you said, just a Olympics. Like if it was like a track Olympic type deal,
right?
How high can you jump, things like that. So it was a lot of excitement going into that. Just being able to go back out there, actually be with a team and
you're excited to get a helmet, like man. You're excited to get that helmet.
Yeah. Just putting the helmet back on and things like that. So it was really just like a huge excitement, just being out there, be able to compete, and I mean, just take a handoff from whoever was at quarterback and things like that. So I say that was huge. And then, I wasn't there for the first day of mandatory. Family issue. So had to handle that. Then coming back the next day, it was like, kind of me and Tom still didn't get a chance to talk because, he was so locked in before practice. We was locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Everything flew by because of the meetings and things like that. But, I mean, when I got out there, it was just like, kind of like, I don't know. Like, I just kind of be worried about and try to control the things I can control. On the field, I don't really, like, I kind of talk, like, and have fun somewhat, but most times I'll be, like, locked in and things like that. And, I don't know Tom, like, crazy much.
Yeah, you really haven't had a Tom
guy.
moment yet, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, like, kind of like he's the type of guy that I know he, be locked in and focused as well, and don't want nobody, bother him and things like that. So, not really, but yeah, I mean, I'll say the biggest things we had a moment was just like kind of like after practice, and it just came up to me. We came up to each other, ran across each other while going into the locker room, and just kind of introduced each other, like act for the first time, after practice or whatever, and which is pretty cool. Pretty cool just to see how down to earth and like you said, how the greatest of all time, how he works and just kind of how he carries himself as a man. So it's pretty great and grateful to see.
One person you did get to talk to and have interaction with was Leonard Fournette, the guy's job you're coming for. No, that was a great sound quote. And if you don't feel that way, I don't know what you're doing in the NFL. If you're not trying to be the number one, see the most time on the field, then you're probably in the wrong sport. But what was that relationship with? Did you already start picking his brain? Also, with guys like Gio and Keyshawn, what did you learn from them the most at minicamp and OTAs that is going to be beneficial for you heading into training camp?
I mean, really, I was just kind of learning the most of just understanding the game of football, things like that. And I mean, I just feel like my running back coach been helping me figure that out a lot and really the most. So just knowing, getting the knowledge, getting the feel for, sense of how the NFL work and just the little things like details and stuff like that, how to be detailed, just how you line up, the right way every single time and how you, whatever is the footwork and things like that and how some like everybody would say like that's so like kind of little but it creates a big thing of
Yeah.
knowing your assignment alignment and being on your landmark that just helps set up the play and set up little things. So I'll say things like that for real. But the room been great. You see everybody competitor and guys like to have fun and do their thing. So it's been great, honestly, being in the room.
Did you grow up? You're a Kansas City native. Did you grow up a Chiefs fan?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, Todd McNair played for the Chiefs back in the day.
Yeah, that's what he be telling me all the time.
Yeah, I'm old enough. I used to watch Todd McNair play live. I used to go to Arrowhead and watch McNair. He was the third down back. So he's got great hands. He's going to let you know about your hands because the guy was. They actually had a saying. It's called third and McNair because he would come in. Christian Okoye was the lead running back, and then Barry Ward was like the two-handed punch right there. And then McNair was the third down back. Interestingly enough, you know who the running backs coach was back when Todd McNair was the running back, third down back in Kansas City? Bruce Arians.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bruce Arians was the running backs coach. That was under Marty Schottenheimer's staff. So it's pretty cool, right? That, you grew up a Chiefs fan, and at least you have some connection there. Kevin Ross, the cornerbacks coach, was a cornerback on that Kansas City team as well. So there's a lot of Kansas City connections, here. Yeah. And I'm sure you're going to learn a lot from McNair because I see some similarity. I see some similarity between you and guys like Eric Dickerson and Le'Veon Bell, but also from your pass catching ability, being a taller guy like McNair, I see a little bit of that too. And I think that's a great pairing, you and Coach McNair, because he understands your skill set perfectly.
Yeah, I know for sure. That's awesome too. Awesome. I paid attention and seen the way how they use David Johnson and things like that in Arizona, and they use him in a great way. So I feel like I said, I'm in a good situation, a great situation. For me, I feel like God had a plan, and this was awesome, and I'm right where, like you guys said, I belong.
Yeah,
and it's just fun.
Do you see any chances of you maybe kind of flexing out to the slot, right, or going out wide, right? There's a lot of things.
So. Yeah. So the offense is it's amazing. I love the offense. It's for sure different, and they use running back in a lot of different ways, and it's being split out wide, out all the way outside wide, and in a slot, and they have you out the backfield a lot, even if you in bunch formations with one wide receiver and y'all both on one side. So it's been pretty cool though. It's been a lot of things that I like, and been just trying to gain guys' trust and make a lot of plays, and even in the offseason right now, just throwing with Blaine and Kyle, and just being there, and like I said, just gaining a lot of dudes' trust through the time of that, and the coaches as well, that I can do that, and I can be consistent at that and running this route the way it's supposed to be ran and things like that. I love that type of stuff because they just make you different.
Yeah.
And I love to be a guy that's different.
Well, and I know you don't like comparisons, and I don't mean this as a comparison, but this was written on CBS Sportsline, I believe, last week. Athletically, when you look at your athletic scores, they compare favorably, not just with other elite running backs, but with Deebo Samuel, who is a very unique player unto himself because he's a wide receiver that plays running back. Do you kind of view yourself maybe having a similar yet different role where you're a running back who plays wide receiver, kind of the opposite?
I don't know. I just consider myself a guy that's like Deebo. I respect that, and I'm not a big comparison guy, but for guys like Deebo, you just really, you can boil it down to one word, and he's a playmaker.
Yeah,
so
he's a weapon, right?
And that's what I was calling myself. Through this whole process, like you said, he's an athlete, he's a weapon. Them words right there, he's a playmaker, and that's kind of what I consider myself as a playmaker, as an athlete. I try to have no holes in my game, and there's nothing I can do, on the field. And so, I wouldn't consider myself that, but it's awesome to be able to do a lot of things and be put in a lot of different, situations in order to succeed and help the team win.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just helps you be able to get on the field that much sooner, that much quicker, and develop a role in chemistry with Tom. Because one of the things we know about Tom is, and he talks about this a lot, is about seizing your opportunity. When you get that opportunity to go out there, to take advantage of it, to get out there and make sure that you're delivering on your chance. And so I think having that ability to play multiple roles, multiple positions, running back, slot, outside wide receiver will help you definitely in your case to earn more playing time. But what do you think for you is the biggest thing that you kind of need to maybe just tighten up a little bit so you can see the field a little bit more? We know the receiving skills are there for sure, but is there anything you feel like you need to tighten up a little bit more just so when it comes around, the opportunity does come, you can seize it fully?
I mean, I feel like everything still I need to tighten up on. I mean, you said receiver, running back, running the ball, things like that, obviously, because you ain't never really perfect. I mean, even like, you ask Tom, he going to say he need to tighten up on this, things like that, or
Right.
everything still, because he feel like he ain't never perfect with all he accomplished. But, I mean, I just know there's big question marks out there and things like that that you always want to show people, improve people. And, I know a huge question mark, which I've been seizing that all through OTAs and rookie minicamp and mandatory minicamp, which was pass blocking,
Mhm.
and know what I'm doing in that. So I mean, that's a big thing. And obviously when pass come out, it's gonna be another huge thing to just
Yeah.
seal the deal, and understand that. Like I said before on other interviews, pass blocking is about heart. It's about will,
Mhm.
and it's something that you got to want to do.
Yeah.
And I know obviously as a running back, you got to be able to pass block to just stay on the field. And that's why I kind of I contribute my game to. Like I don't want to be taken. I don't as a man and as a competitor,
Mhm.
I can't be taken off the field because it's something that I can do.
Yeah.
Because that's something I can control. So that's just kind of like a huge thing that I've been working on, and I've been sealing the deal, and still been working on that. And like I said, just every parts of my game,
Mhm.
you know, which is for real, just understanding the game of football.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a lot of knowledge at this level, and
Yeah.
just really realizing how like detail oriented you had to be, and how you really learn the game of football.
Yeah, you mentioned want to when it comes to pass protection, and part of the want to is the physicality, right? You got to be able to want to step in that hole and take on that blitzing linebacker or nickel corner or safety off the edge, whoever, right? But the other part of the want to is that mental game, right? Because you have to be able to identify the blitzer, right? You got to be able to know which guy is yours. That's half the battle. I'm going to
Yeah.
read you a quote that you had. This was back from your Arizona State days, and I think it really kind of speaks to your mindset and your football IQ. You said, and I quote, "I had to learn to attack guys to get them in that position. If I can stop a guy's feet, then he's already beat regardless. That this guy that when you're talking about a USC safety doesn't have any power if he can't generate anything. If I wanted to run him over, I could run straight through him. If I wanted to juke him, I could do that too because he's stuck and I'm still moving. I knew that I had to beat him and hit him with a couple of quick stutters. My legs went one way, my head snapped another way, and that's the way I wanted to go." And within that story, what you're talking about there is you study your opponents, right?
Yeah.
You look at the safeties, the guys that like to tackle high, or the guys that like to come and try to take out your ankles, right? And
Yeah.
that intel allows you to know what type of move once you get to that second or third level to throw at them. And I think that's an incredibly mature part of your game
Yeah.
that I'm excited to see here at the NFL.
Yeah, I mean that's the awesome thing. Like you got to know your opponent. That's the thing. That's what's gonna help you be able to outdo that guy. And pass blocking, you got two different rushers, or you got complete rushers. Because I can't say that guys ain't complete, because that's all I said. As a running back, I try to pride my game off of being complete, and it's not being nothing that I can do. But as you study the game, this guy, he's really great at bull rushing,
Yeah.
or this guy, he really great at hitting a move, or hitting a move on you and things
Right.
like that. He's very slippery, and so I mean, when you study the game, you just know. And then it might be that guy that's just kind of complete,
Yeah.
But and that's at the end of the day, that's the thing. Like, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's not about like size or this or
Yeah.
nothing like that. I mean, it's about heart, and it's about will, and it's about the force. I mean,
Mhm.
like if we running same miles per hour, I feel like, or the same speed,
Yeah.
if we hit each other, we're gonna be at a standstill.
Right.
We both just gonna stop.
Yep.
If I'm running harder or faster than the other guy, no matter how much he weighs, I'm going to push him back.
Yeah.
I'm going to run through him and push him back. If he's running harder or faster than me, his amount of force when he hit me, obviously he's going to push me back or run
Right.
through me. So, I mean, and that's go the same thing with like you said, best pass rushing. I mean, you get a guy, you got to meet him. You got to meet him, and because if you sit back there and wait, I mean, you lost.
Yeah.
So you got to meet a guy. You want a pass rusher, or you want somebody to stutter their feet.
Yeah.
So that way, when you stutter their feet, like I said, you got them beat.
Yeah.
As soon as you stutter their feet, that's why I had to learn. You got to attack. So you got to shoot your hands or whatever you use, and then it just kind of goes from there. The other little technique and what you need to do, which Coach McNair been teaching me, and you need your arms locked out all the way because you ain't going nowhere. So it's like, I mean, it's kind of and Coach McNair helped me understand how to reverse roles. And he say like he always says like pass blocking for us is like routes against the linebacker. Like we basically switch position.
Right. Yeah.
And I understood kind of what he mean by that. Like if I come out of a backfield on a route and I'm going out of because you'll never want your feet really kind of to really stop. But
right.
if I get a linebacker, if I freeze him and I like you said the same play, I get his feet to stop, but I'm still going. Then yeah, he's beat because now he's just trying to catch. He just got to try to catch me and get his hands on me, and then it's just all little things that go into it, which I've been learning. So it's been grateful though. And I'm grateful that I got Coach McNair because he always said, and he got a lot of people that say for him too. Like he was a heck of a pass blocker as well.
Yeah, he was. No doubt. Well, listen, Rachaad, we have just a couple minutes with you here left, and if we can do some rapid fire stuff between JC and I real quick, we'll get you out of here in just a few minutes. My first question to you is: Are you most excited to play the Chiefs this year because they're on the schedule in that first month of the season? Or is there another team that you're looking forward to the most? Maybe the Cowboys, and
Arizona on Christmas.
Arizona, yeah. Which team are you most looking forward to playing?
For me, I'm the type of guy. I'm most excited to play everybody, but I mean I know the first action is Miami, so that's the most excited team right now for the preseason game that I'm excited to play, and then it's gonna go from there. We play next, and then go from there. So like that's how I am. Like I'm gonna be excited and get up to play, everybody because you live in a dream and I mean, you're trying to establish something. You're trying to establish a name for yourself, a legacy. You're trying to build a legacy and do something great, and be a legend. So that's why I say.
Have you had any former running backs that played with Tom Brady or reach out to you and kind of I saw maybe Shane Vereen reached out to you on Twitter or something like that? Any of those guys reach out?
No, I haven't had nobody reach out. Not that I know of. I'll be off of social media a lot, though.
Okay. Number 29, that's your number. Did you choose that? Was it given to you? Because that is Eric Dickerson's number, and that's one of the guys your running style kind of compares favorably to. What's the story behind number 29?
I just had to, kind of play the hand I was dealt. So right now the Bucs roster's kind of a lot filled and it's a lot of guys there, and a lot of numbers is taken.
Are you going to be looking to maybe change numbers as roster cuts go down? Is there a number that you're eyeing, or you just make 29 your own?
Honestly, I mean, it's not like end all be all. Do I want like a single digit? Yeah, that's my goal and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I take number 3, yeah, any day of the week, that's my number. But I mean, in due time, at the end of the day, I know my time will come when it's time for me. But I mean, I can't complain about number 29 or just having any kind of jersey. So like 29 is a good jersey,
right?
And I feel like I'm gonna make anything look good.
I like that.
Go Jose Borregales, and no one buy a Rachaad White jersey just quite yet. Might be changing numbers. Yeah. I just want to know what should, like, if you're going to leave the Bucs fans with it, what should they know? What are they getting out of Rachaad White? What should they know? Maybe like a fun fact or something that they should know about you.
I mean, I'll say they just getting a locked in. They just getting a locked in player, locked in young man. That's what I kind of can really say. A guy that loves the game, that love and enjoy playing it. They getting a guy that enjoys being in the community, socializing. I'm very outgoing. I'm very cool. So they getting a guy that don't be, afraid to, to speak or say something if you see me. You don't have to worry about none of that. Say something and be very excited, things like that. Very, very blessed and grateful. And another thing, something that you guys don't know about me. I don't know, honestly. I don't know. Like my daughter, 10 months. I don't know. Like I got a daughter.
You had a great
my
Father's
lady,
Day,
and
right? Just a couple weeks ago, I'm sure, right?
yeah. It was my first Father's Day,
Yeah.
so it was
Always the
something
best.
Congrats. That's awesome. So
thank you. So that's really it.
as we wrap up here, last two, what are your expectations for your rookie season, right? I mean, obviously you want to be the starter. Like there's no qualms about that. And that's the type of mentality the Bucs want you to have. But is there a certain number in your head? You want to rush for this many yards, score this many touchdowns, catch this many passes? What are your rookie expectations?
My rookie expectation for me, really, and goals for me was just to take advantage of every opportunity I get. I kind of try to keep it simple and things like that because, like I said, I'm never worried about kind of the things I can't control and that I cannot control. So that's really what I tell myself every day. Is kind of trust the process, keep going, keep working, and kind of everything else to take care of itself. So really, just take advantage of every opportunity that I get, and being a huge contributor to the team, winning, and whatever that role may be. It might be special teams. You never know. You know what I'm saying? That's just the type of mindset I got. I'm never too big for anything.
You're fine doing kick returns if they put you out there for that, right?
Yeah, I'm fine doing whatever. And that's how I am. Whatever helps the team win, really. But, my main goal, obviously, like you said, is to be a starting running back, keep competing every day until I get that. And then, I feel like other goals, what I want to rush for and things like that, I kind of all take care of itself. And, I could just break it down like I said, steps and one step at a time. And right now, I'm not the starting running back, so I just break it down. And my expectations from me is just go out there, keep competing every day. Win the job and take advantage of every opportunities that I get.
All right, Rachaad, appreciate your time. The last question, the most important question, Kansas City barbecue, right? It's legendary. Like it's good stuff. What's your place? Gates, Arthur Bryant's, Joe's? What's your ranking for Kansas City barbecue?
For me, I'm gonna go. I'll probably go Gates number one.
Yeah.
That's just my spot.
Yeah.
They got the best barbecue sauce ever invented.
Yeah.
I say that. Then number two, I'll probably say Jack Stack for me.
Oh yeah, Jack Stack. Yeah, that's a good one. I've eaten there. Yeah,
it's just different. Yeah, Jack Stack. Jack Stack is different.
Yeah.
And I say three for me. I probably go down on Swope. And it's like a little barbecue spot called like Big T's Barbecue or whatever. And it's down like off of Swope.
Swope. Okay. Yeah.
And that'll probably be my three. Yeah, my three.
Excellent. All right.
I'll give you a good recommendation when you get out here. Conan's barbecue spot.
That's good barbecue.
That's some good. Okay. I'm also a barbecue guy myself. I made some pulled pork and ribs. So if you ever want to just swing by, I got you too.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Just let me know.
Well, listen, Rachaad, we're looking forward to chronicling your rookie season here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and certainly starts in training camp in just a couple of weeks. So really appreciate you joining the Pewter Report podcast. If fans want to follow you on social media, where can they find you at on Twitter?
I'm just Shad _3. That's my name. It's spelled Chaad though. My mom. So Rachaad is spelled different. So some people might see it as Chad, but it's Shad. That's what my family call me, Shad, Shotty, things like that. So that's where they can follow me at.
Good stuff. Well, listen, we really appreciate your time. Best of luck to you for the rest of the summer, and we'll see you in training camp, man.
See you in 3 weeks.
All right. See you. Thank you guys for having me on. Really
Absolutely.
Appreciate this opportunity.
You got it. Thanks, Rachaad. So, JC, that does not seem like a rookie to me.
No.
Covered a lot of these rookies, man. This guy, He's special. There's something about this kid.
Oh.
He's locked in. His mentality. He is like a veteran trapped in a rookie body right now. Is what he
It's
is.
so easy to see why they were so high on him, even above maybe other guys, because of just his demeanor, because of the way he carries himself. He's going to fit in this program like that. Seamlessly.
Yeah.
And I knew that the day that we spoke to him, he didn't want to take his helmet off. He wanted to watch it. He wanted like, I was going to go home and watch the NBA finals.
Yeah, he wanted to take it back to the hotel room and wear it. That's crazy, right? I mean, who does that? This guy does that. He loves football, and you have to put the amount of work in, because JC, in college there are time limitations, right? You have the student athlete where you have to attend classes, and there's certain times that you can't be in the facility, right? It's regulated by the NCAA. The NFL, this is your job. This is round the clock. This is diet, nutrition, exercise, rest, strength and conditioning. I mean, classroom stuff, homework, etc. And this guy is just dialed in right from day one. And the thing is when going back to draft weekend, when they selected Rachaad, I got some texts from the front office, from multiple guys in the front office. And usually it's like, wait till you get a load of this guard, or wait till you see this cornerback, right? Or this guy's a weapon, right? And all of them were like, you're going to love this kid. You're going to love this kid. And what they meant was the person. You're going to love this guy. And because the guy is the football player, right? It's the seriousness, it's the attention to detail, the competitiveness. I mean, not many rookies come in and say, I want to be the starter. Okay, well, we just signed Leonard Fournette to a $7 million deal. Yeah, okay. Usually it's wait your turn, rookie. And he's like, while I'm waiting for my turn, I'm going to be competing to start. And there's nothing wrong with it.
On Jim Rome of anyone too. Not even like local media that is like a national outlet. He's like, I'm coming for the starting job.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I mean, when you showed me him in January, I was like, this dude right here, and like, we didn't get into his story because he's talked about enough. I didn't want him to spit it back out. But the guy went from community college, working overnight jobs at a warehouse, to finally getting an opportunity at Arizona State. And then he just turned it on from there. And then last year was just an absolute monster of a season as a weapon, as a both receiver and a running back.
He ran for 1,006 yards, and then he caught 43 passes for 430 yards. That's a 10-yard average, JC, for a running back. Like 7 is really good. 8 is phenomenal, right?
5 is normal.
5 is normal. This is, you throw the ball to him, it's a first down. Every time, on the average. That's just
literally it's a first down.
Yeah.
I asked him if he's talked to any of the former, Patriots running backs that play, because the position he plays is such a pivotal one when Tom Brady's on the field. I mean, you look at kind of, the backyard football him and Lenny will play and everything like that. And anything, and he's so humble. I don't think he's going to kind of go out of his way to pick someone's brain. He's going to let the information come to him a little bit. When it comes to players, he might find his voice a little bit, but it seems like he's leaning on Todd McNair a lot. For his advice, but
smart kid.
Exactly.
Listen to your coach. Smart kid, right?
But I think if once he talks to Lenny a little bit more about, this is what Tom likes, this is what Tom,
exactly.
That's going to get him on the field so quick. But again, I brought up to him, and he brought up his pass blocking, which is going to be huge. We've known it's been huge since Arians. It's not going to change now that Bowles has took over and Leftwich is still calling the plays, but. Because when he gets that opportunity, if he can seize that opportunity, if he can make that catch, Scott, and turn it up for a first down, Brady's gonna have a half chub in the huddle when he gets back. He's gonna be so excited to have a guy of this magnitude and ability.
Yeah, here's the thing, JC. I mean, Bruce Arians is famous for saying there's no fullbacks in this offense, right? This is a wide receiver driven offense,
right?
That will, they'll go 12 personnel sometimes, double tight ends. It's an offense that likes to run the ball, right? But at the same time, though, I could see some certain plays, certain situations where Leonard Fournette and Rachaad White are on the field at the same time. And you talk about confusing the hell
Right.
out of defenses, right? All of a sudden it's a split backfield. And I'm not giving away any plays. We haven't seen this stuff. This is
Right.
just what I'm imagining. If
That's
I'm
good.
Byron Leftwich, right? I'm drawing these up. I'm saying we have a new toy now, and yeah, we love Lenny, and Tom loves Lenny, but we love Rachaad too. So let's get these guys on the field at the same time, especially if maybe Chris Godwin is or is not going to be, ready to have a full workload in September. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yes, I was picturing it in my mind.
We're gonna have Leonard Fournette and Rachaad White in a split backfield, and then all of a sudden we're gonna take Rachaad and we're gonna flank him out into the slot, or we're gonna split him out wide.
Not even out of the backfield. You have both of them. If you have both of them running swing routes out of the backfield, right? That's bringing the linebacker in coverage. And Godwin is so good at sharp, quick cuts.
Right.
Like if that's just that's easy area. It's easy money space right there in between the safety and the linebacker for him to make all those catches over the middle on all sorts of different routes. Like, oh my goodness.
And the thing is if you have two backs in there, and let's say a tight end, two wide receivers, you have regular personnel on the field, you're going to be facing a regular defense, 4-3, 3-4 alignment, whatever. You're not going to be a nickel more than likely, right? But all of a sudden, I mean, you could go 5 wide. You could have Lenny in the slot. You could have Rachaad out wide, the receiver there. All of a sudden, you're empty. Tom's in shotgun now, and you have a regular personnel in the field. And Rachaad White is a running back that can run wide receiver routes. This is a guy that is an extra wide receiver. You didn't see him flinch. I know he didn't like comparisons. I get that. But in the way I was talking about it with Deebo Samuel, it's like the opposite. Deebo is a wide receiver used as a running back. And this kid would be a running back used as a wide receiver. He didn't flinch at that. Like, he was like, yeah, that sounds good. Like,
he's like, sure.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. I'm all about it.
I'm just, listen, I think this kid can be special. And I'm not, you know what? Here's the thing too. I think we're going to see, and what I mean we, the coaches, the players, obviously the fans and the media too, we're going to see how special this kid is in the training camp time, right, in the preseason. And I think, you've seen Leonard Fournette show up overweight, and I think Leonard's going to come back. You see the workout videos that he's posting online. He's going to be in shape. I don't have any doubt about that. But I think that Ronald Jones was not the guy that could really push Leonard Fournette last year. I mean, Ronald Jones just spelled Leonard Fournette when Leonard needed a blow, right? When he needed a breather, they put Rojo in there. I think this guy is legitimately going to push Leonard Fournette to greatness, or push him to the bench eventually.
Yeah, I mean, he's got no choice, right? There's literally, he's got a young, hungry guy who has been successful in both the running game and passing. I mean, last year too, he was the number 2 receiver for the Sun Devils. He finished the second most receiving yards, so he can do it all. And Lenny's got to watch out. And if you look at this offense too, it runs best with a guy of the mold. And I'm not taking anything away from Lenny, because Lenny's a similar player. Doesn't have I wouldn't say. It's such one of those things. Leonard Fournette posted the highest output of receptions that he's ever done in his final year with the Jags. But a lot of people don't look at him as a receiving back, because I don't think he embodies what you think a receiving back is.
Right.
When you look at Rachaad, he's a receiving back. When you look at Theo, he's a receiving back. But Lenny can do it both. And this offense works so much better when they have a guy who can be that receiving back. And you look at, David Johnson out in Arizona is a prime example.
I agree.
Rachaad. So if Lenny slips a little bit, if there's room for injury, just like we saw when Rojo went down and Lenny stepped up, something can happen to Rachaad White. So I mean, and he's going into this process with the right mindset. Look, I want to be the starter. I'm going to work like I am the starter. I'm going to practice like I am the starter. And eventually the starter might just be him.
And Bernard, just to clarify things, BA didn't trust Rojo, and that killed his spirit. No, Tom Brady didn't trust Rojo. Okay, let's get that straight.
All right.
Tom is the quarterback. He didn't trust Rojo in pass protection, because Rojo, half the time didn't know which hole to pick up the blitzer from. He His problem was identifying the blitzer. And then once he identified him, if he identified him, it was throwing the successful block to keep him off Tom Brady. And when that didn't happen, it wasn't like BA killed Rojo's spirit. No, Tom Brady and Bruce Arians were on the same page. This guy can't pass protect. He doesn't need to be on the field, especially when Leonard Fournette can't.
The hands too. I mean, for a guy who caught over 500 balls a day, in the offseason, when he was working out in Arizona, it didn't translate to the field. You can catch all the balls you want from a jugs machine, from someone, but if you can't do it with pads on when the pressure's coming down and you're hearing footsteps, and it doesn't really matter. And I don't think we're going to get that out of this kid with Rachaad. I don't want to crown him too early either, because he still has to beat out Keyshawn Vaughn for that number 2S role. I say number 2S because Gio's going to be that third down, fast-paced back. We'll see. I don't think we saw enough of Gio to really
I don't think Gio's going to be that guy. I really don't. I think Gio's the insurance policy this year, in my opinion. We'll see.
I mean, it looks like that's what he was last year, too. We didn't get to see enough of Gio, whether injuries or just due to lack of usage. So,
and listen, to Keyshawn Vaughn's credit, he's done much better catching the ball this year, and I think that the pressure's on him, right? I mean, when you're a third round draft pick and you don't get a lot of play, and when you do, it's subpar outside of that touchdown run right against the Carolina Panthers, which, I mean, that's a great run. That was one play, but when you average 3.1 yards per carry outside of that, in that Carolina game, in the Jets game, in the other Carolina game, and the Eagles game, etc., the first round of the playoffs, while Fournette was out, they drafted another running back in the third round for a reason. That's a clear sign to Keyshawn Vaughn, like, it's now or never. Like, you better stand and deliver and keep this new rookie on the bench.
Well, and it's even clearer because they re-signed Fournette. It's not like they drafted a guy in the third round and didn't re-sign Fournette to a rookie, a 3-year deal that Vaughn's deal will expire within that length, So you've got your rookie for 4 years, and then Vaughn is up next year. So, like, it's put up or shut up time. And unfortunately for Vaughn, unless there's serious injuries or anything like that, it doesn't look like he's going to, I don't want to say reach a second contract in the NFL, because he just hasn't shown enough, whether that's on special teams or even as a contributor with the ball. He's had some splash plays and he has gotten better at pass protection and receiving skills. But I mean, it's his training camp, it's his preseason to win or lose, and it's going to go a long way to determine where his path is going to fall next.
Exactly. Well, listen, if you want to find out where your financial path is going to fall next, well, the place that you can go to find that answer is our friends over at Amuni Financial.
At Amuni Financial, we help you live in the now.
Dude, congratulations. We're so happy for you.
Thank you. And even though the now may feel very different, you still need to plan for the future.
How's retirement treating you?
Oh, just fantastic.
I know I say it all the time, but you really got to come up to Colorado.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
We can help you develop that plan to keep you on track, so you can still prepare for tomorrow, today. Amuni Financial. Plan ahead, stay ahead.
That's right, folks. Got to get to Colorado. And how do you do that? Well, whether it's visiting Colorado or moving there, retiring there, you're going to need some money to travel, to retire when your golden age sets in. And the place that you can do that is with our friends over at Amuni Financial. They can help you plan ahead and stay ahead. Managing your family's wealth means more to Amuni Financial than simply allocating your assets. It means legacy planning, brokerage and advisory services, retirement accounts, college savings accounts, and insurance services. With 40 years of experience, let Amuni Financial help you plan ahead and stay ahead. Do what I did. I have all my investments now at Amuni Financial. Give them a call, 1-800-868-6864, or visit them on the web at Amuni.com. JC, we've got a great show lined up for tomorrow. Should the Bucs sign Odell Beckham Jr. at midseason? This is a story that I believe you came up with, right? You were talking about that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's interesting proposition. We're going to get into that tomorrow. So be sure that you visit the pewterreport.com, I should say Pewter Report YouTube page. That's Pewter Report TV. And here is how you can log on to that. You can subscribe to Pewter Report TV. And we want you to help us get to 8,600. We're so close to 8,600. We want to be by up to 9,000 by the time training camp starts. I should say by the time the preseason starts, just realistically speaking. By the time the preseason starts, we want to be at 9,000. You can help us do that, Buccaneer fans, by subscribing to Pewter Report TV. They say subscribe, JC. I don't know why they say subscribe. It's free.
Right.
You don't pay anything. It's clicking a button. That's all
you do. Then hit the little bell so you get notifications.
Yeah. And while you're at it, hit the like button. That's free too. Hit the like button on all of our videos, whether it's the snippets from press conference clippings or interviews or snippets from the Pewter Report podcasts that appear on Pewter Report TV, or these podcasts, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the taped podcast version. If you hit those likes, what that does is it helps our algorithm for YouTube, and it gets us in front of more Pewter people,
right,
like you guys. So we greatly appreciate that.
And while you're signing up for things that are completely free, next time you're at pewterreport.com, don't forget to sign up for the Pewter Pulse, guys. I work at Pewter Report, and I'm signed up because I want to know what stories we're putting out, when they come out, get them right to my email so I can read them. And it's a great way to stay in tune with everything going on at Pewter Report and your Buccaneers. So Pewter Pulse, definitely sign up for that next time you're at pewterreport.com.
Yep. I'm going to make one prediction. We did have Ibrahim up here with the bold prediction. He thinks Rachaad's going to steal starting snaps by the bye week. I think Leonard Fournette's going to be the starter this year, but I think that I would not be surprised if Rachaad White ends up with more touchdowns than Leonard Fournette.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Really? You feel the same way?
I can see that. Yeah.
And rushing. I think it's going to be close, like maybe 8-7 or something. But I think Rachaad White's going to find the end zone quite a bit.
I also think I don't think he's going to have more yards, but I think he'll have more big plays than Leonard Fournette, whether that's out of the backfield receiving or rushing. I just think this kid's got an extra juice to him that Lenny doesn't have. And I can see him ending up with more big plays, more, longer yards from scrimmages and runs from scrimmage and stuff like that.
Yep. Exactly. Well, JC, that was fun. We're working on a couple other Buccaneer players, hopefully getting them to do a podcast with us before training camp starts. But we've had a couple already. Rachaad White today. We had Cyril Grayson Jr., wide receiver for the Buccaneers, who I'm really excited to see what this guy can do. I mean, I would have loved to have seen him not get that hamstring pull where he can play in that
Super Bowl if they do.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
I fully think so. One of those wide receivers isn't injured.
Yeah,
I think they're going. I just do. I mean, you're down. You were at the end. You were there. You were down with what? Mike Evans and Scotty
Johnson and Scotty Moore.
Alex Johnson got injured too in that game.
He did. Yeah, he sure did. Yeah.
Cam Brate was acting as your number 3 wide receiver. Scotty Moore as your number 2.
Oh my God.
Oh no. So Grayson or even Brashad Perriman might have changed that whole game, and he still brought him back.
I know. Wide receiver position is locked in terms of the depth. There's a lot of depth spots that are pretty deep, right? I mean, there's a lot of positions. Wide receiver is one of them. So if you want to join us on Thursday, we're going to be talking about where the Bucs have the most depth. So the next 2 shows, Odell Beckham Jr., should the Bucs sign him in midseason? We'll kind of get into that tomorrow. Julio. Then on Thursday, maybe Julio Jones too. Maybe that's the debate. Should the Buccaneers sign Julio Jones now or wait until the midseason like they did with Antonio Brown and bring in Odell Beckham Jr.? Where the Bucs have the most depth? Is it wide receiver? Is it defensive line? Is it offensive line? We'll debate that on Thursday on the Pewter Report podcast. So, one last note: we're planning a fan event. We're lining up some players as we speak, but it's Saturday, July 23rd, the week before camp starts, from 1 to 3 p.m. and it's going to be at a place that we love. Place called Pin Chasers. Ooh. And now Pin Chasers has 3 locations: East Pasco out here by me, Zephyr Hills, the Veterans location in Tampa, but the one we're going to be at, JC, is the Midtown location in Tampa. That's right around the corner from One Buccaneer Place. And Pin Chasers, Again, it's going to be Saturday, July 23rd. We'll have more details on pewterreport.com. We'll talk about it in the podcast when we have those players confirmed. And we'll also have it on social media. But in the meantime, get to Pin Chasers. Why? Because it's hot outside. And Pin Chasers, there's air conditioning in there. And there's cold beer and cold drinks and plenty of awesome food. You wouldn't think that bowling alley food is that good. And it's not at Pin Chasers. It's not good. It's great. Ooh. It will absolutely surprise you and blow you away. That they have a brunch on the weekends. Their pizza, their sandwiches are outstanding. Their salads are quite good. And the great thing is they'll bring it right to your lane so you don't have to miss any fun. It's great night for a date night. It's also a great place to have your kids' birthday parties or a family event or a corporate team building event. So if your company wants to do a fun little activity and make it a fun Friday, call Pin Chasers and reserve some lanes. They also do fundraisers and bowling leagues. We'll have the Pewter Report Bowling League again this fall, and that'll be fun. Make sure you visit pinchasers.net. Pin Chasers owned by Anthony Peroni, big Buccaneer fan, longtime Pewter Report reader. So when you're giving him your business, you're supporting an awesome pewter person. So again, Pin Chasers, visit pinchasers.net for more information, bowling, food, and fun.
They also have all-you-can-eat pizza nights, not
That's
breakfast, as John used to say. John used to say, you have all-you-can-eat breakfast. And I was like, what? Sign me up for that.
Yeah, I'm there for that. Yeah, exactly. Well, this was a fun show, JC. Good seeing you. I'm going to be on vacation here the next couple of days. I'm going to you know what the Redneck Riviera is?
I've heard of it multiple
Lake of the
times.
Ozarks.
Lake of the okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to be partying with Marty and Wendy Bird and Ruth. We're gonna be hanging out, laundering some money together, and frying out there. It's gonna be like 103 degrees.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that's the Midwest heat. I'm used to that a little bit. Like growing up in Kansas City, it would 103, 105 degrees during the summer. So I'm gonna be broiling out there. Thankfully, my college roommate Chris. I'm going to be out there with my college roommates Chris and Mike. We haven't had a vacation for like 30 years together.
Oh, is this a boys' trip?
No, the family trip. I'm bringing the kids too, but at least Chris has got a boat and some jet skis, so we'll be out in the water.
Pulling those apple chips on you to make sure we don't lose you out there.
Yeah. Well, I can swim, so I won't drown. But yeah, it'll be fun. But listen, more fun ahead on pewterreport.com. We've got plenty of stories up. I mean, when people say, the off season's here, well, not really at pewterreport.com. We still crank it into the Buccaneer content all the way up to and through training camp and the preseason.
5 more days till my roster preview comes out. We'll have one every single day starting Monday. So start with quarterbacks, running backs. We'll go over who's in the roster, break down each player, each position. That'll lead us right into training camp, where our training camp battles will start too. So, and our daily training camp reports, which is going to come quick, Scott.
I know.
It's going to come quick.
And we're going to be trying to working to see if we can revive, now that the COVID protocols are gone, we can actually do face-to-face interviews with these players, which is awesome. Right. We're going to try to revive the Bucs training camp diaries, where we have one rookie player and one veteran, one from offense and one from defense, and get some pretty unique, interesting perspectives from the players. And so we're going to try to dial that up for training camp too. That's something that we do fun and exclusive here at Pewter Report. So make sure you're following us on social media at Pewter Report on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And again, make sure that if you haven't had a chance, subscribe to Pewter Report TV on YouTube. We want to get to 8,600. We're so close, so make sure you help us out with that. This has been a fun edition. It's probably the best Pewter Report podcast we've ever done, JC, and you're a part of it, which is awesome. So tomorrow, try to beat it. Try to have the best Pewter Report podcast on Wednesday as I start my vacation. Folks, it's been fun. Appreciate all you Pewter people for joining us. For JC Allen, I'm Scott Reynolds. We'll see you tomorrow for another edition of the Pewter Report podcast.